First of all, of course, is pledge. We said the Pledge of Allegiance. What is a pledge? A pledge is a promise. It's the words that you use to promise that you will do something. A pledge is very similar to a promise. Usually that when people say that they promise to do something and it's very formal, it's a very solemn or very important promise, they usually do something like this, right? I promise I will do it. Or they do this when they pledge allegiance. So it's a very important or very solemn means important, or very formal type of promise that you make, and that's a pledge. What is allegiance? We're talking about Pledge of Allegiance. Allegiance means to be faithful to someone or something. So of course we see a soldier here, wrapped himself in the flag, right? Very patriotic. Allegiance means to be faithful to something. In other words, that you will always support something. You will always do something. Your actions will be to help or to support someone or something else. People can say, where is your allegiance? Or where does your allegiance lie? In other words, is your allegiance to your country? Is your allegiance to your family? Or is your allegiance just to yourself? If your allegiance is just to yourself, that person is selfish. They only are faithful to themselves. But if their allegiance is to their family, that means that they want to support and they want to help their family. If their allegiance is to their country, that means that they want to support and they want to help their country. So that's what allegiance is. It's being faithful, helping someone or supporting someone or something. Okay. Flag. Now you pledge allegiance to a flag. It sounds like an odd idea. A flag is just a piece of cloth, right? But a flag is a symbol. A flag is a piece of cloth that is the symbol of a group, organization, or country. So a flag is more than just a piece of cloth. It's a symbol. It symbolizes that country. And a flag symbolizes not just the country, but the ideals of the country, or group, or organization, because groups can have flags, organizations can have flags. Of course, sports teams have their own flags, but especially countries. We're talking about Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Means that you're promising to be faithful, not to a piece of cloth, but to the ideas that that piece of cloth symbolize. What are the ideas that the American flag symbolizes? Of course, democracy, helping other people, being an American citizen, supporting your country. Those are the ideas that this piece of cloth symbolizes. That's what the American flag symbolizes. Of course, the Korean flag also symbolizes many of the same things for Koreans. Okay, our next word is stand for. So we just looked at the word flag and it symbolizes something. Symbolize and stand for is the same thing. Stand for means to symbolize, right? Symbol is a noun, it's a thing. Symbolize means to stand for that idea. The symbol stands for another idea. To stand for, to mean something. So what are we talking about? What things stand for other things? Usually symbols, like we use the example of the flag. The flag, when you see the flag, it means something to you. But it's not just flags that are symbols. Many things can be symbols. Pictures, letters, numbers are all symbols. If we see this picture, a white dove carrying an olive branch, if we see this symbol or this picture, branch, olive branch, that is a symbol for peace. This picture stands for peace. By the way, this is a very, very old symbol going back to Greece, ancient Greece. Okay? This is a very old symbol, a white dove carrying an olive branch in its mouth. That's a symbol of peace. It stands for peace. So what does a symbol stand for? What does it mean? Honor. Honor is a very important word, of course, when you're talking about promises and you're talking about being faithful to a certain amount of ideas or a certain group or a certain country. Honor is very important. Honor means to do something to show respect. When you honor something or someone, you're showing respect for someone or something. These soldiers, of course, soldiers have a very high code of honor. They believe in honor very much. Honor is very important to soldiers, and especially they show honor to their nation's flag. Let's take a look here. Now these soldiers are very formal. They're very strict in how they behave. They, of course, are showing honor. They're doing a rifle drill. It's part of the way to honor or to pay respect to their country and also to their fellow soldiers who may have died in wartime. This is a memorial. This actually is a grave of, I believe it's the unknown soldier in Washington, D.C. It's a grave where the remains of the soldier who is in here, they don't know who he is. He symbolizes, those remains symbolize all American soldiers who died in wars in various places, especially those soldiers who've died and the remains or the bodies could not be found. This symbolizes all of those men and women. And the soldiers honor this memorial to show their respect for their fallen comrades, for their fallen fellow soldiers who have fallen in war. So you show respect or you show honor to symbols or national monuments. You also honor your flag. Okay, liberty. Liberty is an ideal, a very important ideal in America. The flag, the American flag, stands for liberty. Liberty means having the right to be free from any control. The important thing about America and the important thing about the United States history is that they wanted to be free from a king. They wanted to have their own government, to have their own free government, so that each person could feel free from a government control, that the government didn't control them, that they were the government. They controlled their own lives. They controlled their own societies. And if you do that, then you have liberty. Just like this bird can fly where it wants to, right? It has liberty. It's free. Of course, no society is completely free, but if you live in a society where there's not a king or a queen or a dictator telling you what you must do or where you have to live or how you must think, then you have liberty. And everybody should have liberty. Everybody should be free from those types of government controls. That's a very important part about America. It's what the American flag stands for. It stands for liberty. It stands for justice. Justice means treating people equally and fairly. Now that's the ideal, right? It doesn't always happen that way, but that's the ideal. Justice means that you use the law to treat everybody equally. Everybody should be equal. Everybody should have the same fair chance in life. That is justice. If people do not have the same chances or they are not being treated equally, then there is no justice. Okay, justice means everybody should be equal, everybody should be fair. That's what justice means. Republic. Now it's interesting to think about this. America, people say, you know, it's a democracy. It is a democracy, but the form of government is a republic. A republic is a country where leaders are chosen by a vote. A true democracy is where each person can decide, can participate directly in making laws. But it's impractical because think about that. There's like 350 million people in America. You can't get that many people together to vote on a law. That would be chaos. It would be crazy, right? Too many people saying, no, I think this way, I think this way. So, in other words, what they have to do is many people will choose one person to represent them. So one state, right, will have 2, 3, 4, maybe several leaders that are chosen from that state to go to the government and make those decisions for them. That's why we have elected officials. That's why we have politicians. Politicians are leaders. We choose them by voting for them, and we choose them every 4 years in America, and they represent us. And that system of government is called a republic. Okay? It's not a true democracy where every person is involved in every decision. That would be crazy. It would be too chaotic. You can't control that. So we have a republic where people are chosen by votes. Okay, indivisible. That's one of the words in the Pledge of Allegiance. Indivisible means cannot be separated. Cannot be separated. And that's an important point, because in some parts or some times of American history, there have been times when some states tried to separate from the nation. A famous example is the Civil War, when the South tried to separate itself from the North. But there was a war fought about that, of course, and the North won. The South stayed together in part of one nation. So the nation, America, is indivisible. It means that no state can go off and make its own country or its own laws. Every state or every region in America is part of the whole. They're all in it together. So there's a couple of different ideas. Indivisible, in means not. Divisible means to divide or able to divide. Whoops, divide. Whoa, what's wrong? Divide. Not able to divide. Not able to divide. Cannot be separated. You can't split America up into different groups. It's one nation. That's very important.
Lesson 5. The Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge. The word a promise. Allegiance. Being faithful to someone or something. Flag. A piece of cloth that is the symbol of a group, organization, or country. Stand for. To mean something. Honor. To do something to show respect for someone or something. Liberty. Having the right to be free from any control. Justice. Treating people equally and fairly. Republic. A country where leaders are chosen by vote. Indivisible. Cannot be separated.